Welcome to another episode of Bee Meets, and today I'm joined by Megan from Wave Academy Trust. Megan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you've come in today to talk about Wave Academy Trust because you've recently joined them, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've literally been for like 7 or 8 weeks now. It's really fresh.
Amazing. So tell me a little bit about your role. I mean, we talked about it obviously in the green room.
Yeah.
But I know that you're looking to reach out to as many Cornish businesses as possible, aren't you?
Yeah, so basically I was with the schools as a TA on and off for like 5 years. And so the Wave schools, there's like 11 across Cornwall and Devon, and they are individual schools that kind of take students that are maybe needing a bit more support from mainstream. They've got things like they're suffering from mental health or things like being on autistic spectrum. They just need like a bit more one-to-one support from staff. So we've created these like sort of small, the company has created these small academies for students to come in and just have more one-to-one support learning. And just to kind of like nurture and build up that support for them. Yeah. So this role is like really fresh, and so it's basically every school will have a careers lead, and every student is entitled to having some sort of education around careers, and they needed someone to be like an umbrella for all of the schools. So there is the careers hub that have come in with Wave Academies, and they've kind of launched this new role where I can go out and network with employers and see if anyone wants to come in and give inspiring talks to our students about careers, work experience, and just giving them like these amazing opportunities for post-16.
Fantastic. I know what it's like. I've dealt myself with Careers Hub, and the guys over there are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, like genuinely, during COVID, I was enterprise advisor for a while. Yeah. Which I couldn't annoyingly keep up with just because of how busy I was. But it's I found it incredibly rewarding, and I actually got linked with Nine Maidens, which I know is one of the schools in Wave, isn't it? And I had the opportunity to talk to some of the kids actually over Zoom during COVID to kind of hopefully inspire them and encourage them and talk to them a little bit about what I do, obviously, in the advertising and marketing world. And they were really receptive, and I found it incredibly rewarding as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just they're lacking confidence. And I think when you're pulled out of something that is a mainstream school, that is normal environment that you're supposed to take, and you're kind of subjected from that, they lack the trust within the education system.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they're all just kind of, it's a really hard age, I think, and no one really talks about giving anyone credit enough around that. Like,
and what is that age?
So they're primary and secondary, but mostly secondary I'll work towards. But it's like a total mix. It's really just anyone that wants to come in and inspire them to feel they can do more. Yeah. We've had a few people in already, and they're just seeing their little faces when they're like, they've heard a story from an employer that's like, you know, really successful now, but they struggled in school. You know, they found it really hard to be in school environment. You know, that maybe they played up a little bit, maybe they're a bit naughty, maybe they just didn't enjoy the school experience. They didn't go down the uni route, but now they're really successful.
And actually, that's one of the reasons why I did it as well, because I didn't go through the traditional route of going kind of university and beyond that. I probably lacked a bit of confidence, and I said that to the kids when I came in to see them as well. And I think a lot of people would admit that as well, if they're honest with themselves. And I think actually with business owners particularly, a lot of the time you'll find that they did go through alternative kind of education and means to get to where they are, because 100%. Some of them don't like working for other people, or maybe don't mix well with teams or things like that. And I certainly admit to not working well for others, I would say. Yeah. So going in and talking to kids about why that's actually okay. Yeah. You know, you can find your own path is obviously really important. And actually giving a kind of warts and all kind of story of how you got to where you are is, I'd imagine, quite inspiring for them, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. That's like the thing with these students, is if you can inspire them enough. Like, for myself, I thought I was going to leave college, do music, and that was me. And it wasn't until I really found this role now that I'm like, okay, this is kind of a mix of everything that I've learned over the years together, and I love it. If one student comes out of this and they look back and they're like, right, you inspired me with that person, or now I feel like I'm loving my college course and I'm doing this, like, it's just making those changes. I want to be someone that, they can look back and think, oh wow, that was really cool that person came in. I want, you know, we're working with the spaceport.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, they're really great.
Yeah.
And we know there's several businesses I've connected with already. My contact list is huge, and there's so many people that are willing to come in and talk to them, which really surprised me.
I think I know why.
Why?
So, I mean, I talk for somebody of my age, I suppose, in my mid-30s, kind of owning a business. I'm going to own my business for, well, as far as I'm concerned, until I retire, right? Whenever that's going to be. I'm going to have to employ people from this next generation.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you want them to be in a position to want to come in and learn and all that sort of stuff. And I think if you can mold the next generation into people that could be your workforce of the future, I think that's really important. And I think I know the business community really well, as I know you do, and especially down here in Cornwall, we're kind of a bunch that like to get together and help and pitch in where it's needed. I know Shane, obviously, Corker, amazing studio, is always willing to help out, with kids and students and stuff that come through. So tell me about some of the businesses that you've got involved as well, because I know you mentioned Space Support. Obviously, I know us at Big Box are coming in to help later in the year, but have you got anyone else?
Yeah, so we had James Savage, who you've spoken to.
Oh, yeah, James is great.
He was really great. The kids just like seeing someone that can come from, like I said, he struggled a little bit at school and kind of told that story, and to be where he is now, which is really cool. Amazing. I want them all to know that what's great about these self-employed businesses is that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. You don't need to go to uni to do that. You don't need to do this, and this. So we've got the Spaceport. Gosh, we've got so many on board. I'm just trying to think.
And I know you've been talking to the likes of David Brock and from your partnerships and people like that.
Great. All the networking events have been so fun. So many people that you get to meet. And that's the biggest part of my role, is creating those relationships with these businesses, and them having that kind of point of contact with myself. Definitely. So we've got the NHS, we've got so we're obviously Devon based as well. So we've got Navy Babcock, which is really cool. I can't even think off the top of my head, but there's just so many. I think my contact list is like 200 now.
And that's incredible, considering how much of a short time you actually been in the role as well to build that up. So congratulations on that. So if you're a business, say, watching this podcast now, what would you advise them? How would they get in touch with you? What's the process?
So I'm on LinkedIn, and I do majority of it by emails and contacting people in that way. But it's just if someone is listening and think, wow, I can inspire them from my own education, from my own employment. It's not even necessarily saying, if you come in and now I've got to convince these students to go out and do advertising. It's not just that. Exactly. It's just to persuade them that they can, there's different career pathways within what you do. There's lots of different stuff. And it's them trying to find an interest in something else, rather than thinking, I'm just going to follow what my mum and dad do. And that's all I know. So that's all I'm going to do.
And that's the important thing, right? Because even in something like advertising, right, there's roles that I do which are a bit more kind of public and business facing, where I'm talking to people or talking down microphones all day, doing promotion, etc. But there is other things as well. So my business partner Spencer, he doesn't do this kind of stuff. He can, but he doesn't. He does much more important stuff than me, because he's in the office doing operations, finance, talking to clients about, briefs and building workshops for people and stuff like that. And then there's also Alec, who's our creative director, who designs stuff. They're all completely three different roles, but they are still in that advertising. So I suppose if you're in business and you go in and you talk about different aspects of each industry, and that inspires one kid, as you say, to do that maybe in the future, that's really important. Because I think in Cornwall, I don't know whether you guys have found this, that there's a lot more industries and roles available than what you might first think. Because a lot of people think Cornwall, they think, it's farming, it's fishing, it's hospitality, it's healthcare. It's not just that, is it? There's many different companies.
Yeah, there's loads and loads and loads. Like, keep going back to Spaceport, but that's just something amazing for us to be able to have. And like the Cornwall Channel stuff, it's just like things like this within like media and production, you don't kind of expect any of it. And that's what I mean. They're not aware of any of this. They see what they're brought up around. And I think when you take them out of mainstream, put them into these smaller academies as well, it limits them again.
Yeah.
So we're really pushing for them to be able to hear and see as many opportunities as they can. And hopefully they find something that's enjoyable then. It's the whole post-16 option as well. There's so many different things around colleges and apprenticeships that you can do now, and it's like massively changed. We've got Persimmon Homes on board.
Oh, nice.
Andrew Wallace, he's awesome. He's going to come in and chat to the students about apprenticeships and things like that, and just really explain it to them, because they need to know. And like us as influencers, as teachers and as employers, we should be influencing that generation and giving them all the best knowledge.
I completely agree. Yeah. And there's a lot to be done on that, I think, because I mean, talking of my generation, you know, going through school and through college, you were kind of expected to go to university regardless. And I think the generation before mine, kind of my parents' generation, they kind of weren't, like, no one went. And I think it's now finding a bit of an equilibrium where actually it's okay if you don't go to uni, you know, but there are other options like apprenticeships or going straight into work, or you know, going back to college or whatever. And it's a bit of a confusing world, so it's not surprising really that kids lack a bit of confidence, right?
I spoke to one of them the other week, and I said about the NHS and stuff, and he was like, yeah, but I'm not going to go to uni and be a doctor, like I can't physically do that. I'm like, but you don't know how many different roles there are in the NHS. There's groundskeepers, like, do you know what I mean? There's so many different things that you can do, and to be within such a massive corporation that's going to look after you for life, like that's the stuff they need to know as well, you know? Or if they meet you and they're like, right, I'm going to go and do something cool and fun at college, and then I'll figure it out. Well, let's just like get you in education. Let's keep you there. Let's keep all these good things coming and keep you learning.
I think mine was quite interesting and strange, actually, because I didn't actually decide to go straight into advertising and stuff like that.
So what did you do at college?
I did carpentry. I did an apprenticeship. Yeah, I'm a qualified carpenter. Not many people know that, probably watching the podcast here today. But yeah, that's what I thought. I lacked a bit of confidence. I really enjoyed carpentry. I thought to myself, that's what I want to do. Yeah. I went and did it, and I was like, actually, it isn't. Yeah. So I went back to college and then didn't know what I wanted to do for a lot of years until I was really in my early 20s. And I kind of fell into advertising, really. But the only reason why I fell into it is because I remember when I was at college, someone who was in advertising did actually come in and talk to me about it. I remember having a positive experience.
Oh, okay. See, that's
so
great,
I've kind of been on the end of one of these, you know, employer engagement type talks, and it worked for me. So it's it's very important that businesses get involved, isn't it? Yeah. Give me a bit of inspiration. How do they actually get in touch with you? I know you mentioned LinkedIn, but is there any other way? Do you want to give them your email address?
Yeah, oh gosh, my surname's so funny, isn't it? I wish I didn't use it in my email address because I have to spell it all the time. So it's mschirnhofer. Can we put it in the bio?
I can put it in the bio. Absolutely fine. Yeah.
Be easier at waveedu.org. Just reach out to me. So we're kind of looking for meaningful employer encounters, so people that come into schools and give these inspirational talks. And it's just really relaxed environment. These students, like I say, have lost their love of education, so we're not here to be treating them like students and being a teacher towards them. They're the young people. Let's treat them like young adults, and let's
definitely
just encourage them to take these more, you know, a relaxed approach to it. Like that's what I always tell when people come in. And then work experience as well, which is a big thing. Actually, I've got talks with Eden Project, so it's going to be like quite a nice one. But
that's amazing.
They're dotted all over.
Yeah.
So we're all the way down from like Penzance up to Liskeard for Cornwall, and then all across like Southern Devon.
But you can work businesses essentially anywhere in the southwest in theory, couldn't you? Yeah.
As long as they're kind of happy to travel. We got 2 medical schools, so a lot of that's online learning.
Amazing.
So there's lots of different potentials and options, and it's just giving them, you know, the best opportunities.
And that's important, right? And I think anyone watching as well, this podcast, certainly, I would advise you to get in touch with Meg. I mean, I found the experience fantastic when I was, during COVID, obviously working with the Wave Academy Trust and down at Nine Maidens. So, if you're interested in doing something like this, I know James, who's come on the show previously, has already been in to do so. Please, obviously, pop me a message or obviously get in touch with Meg, and we'll put her details, obviously, in the bio on this message. And likewise, if you want to come on another episode of Might Be Meets, please drop me a message, especially if you've got something really interesting to say, certainly like Megan has as well. But Megan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
This is this is good.
It's good fun, isn't it? It is good fun. And thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.